most of them think after 12th, we can go study abroad.
Higher education certainly is an area that our country needs to catch up with some of the developed countries of the world. Very recently, the list of the top 100 higher institutions of learning has come, and unfortunately our Indian education institutions of higher learning do not find a place even in the top 100.
The literacy rate in Dehradun is 73%, and if I might say for Kerala, it is 93%. Why do you think there's such a big gap?
Governments need to look at as to the challenge of geographical inaccessibility and spread education as much as possible, because I believe that there is nothing more important than education in a child's life.
So what makes you get up in the morning?
Yeah, I spend my life around young people, and the benefit of spending your life around young people is that because of the energy and enthusiasm that they have, that passes on to people like us who are around them. I think the fact that I am in a profession where I can make a difference to so many young lives and minds, academics alone is not going to take the child very far. I think today the skill set that is required by any child to succeed in life goes far beyond the classrooms. Do not be scared to experiment. Do not be scared to try different things. Do not be scared of failure. If you're a failure in one field, it's not necessary you'll be a failure in the other field.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Young Tycoons Sport, sir.
Thank you, Ananya. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Same here, sir. How is the Josh, sir, today?
Fantastic. Always high.
I suppose it is, because from where the conversation is going to flow, I am sure your Josh is supposed to be very high.
Absolutely. I spend my life around young people, and the benefit of spending your life around young people is that because of the energy and enthusiasm that they have, that passes on to people like us who are around them. So the Josh is definitely very high.
That is great, because I think I'll need your energy to pass on to me today.
Let's hope I can do a good job of that.
For sure, sir. Sir, I think we have had our own set of expeditions, our journeys in life, and we've learned from it. We've passed the experiences and all the journey. We've tried to make amendments and little incidents that have struck our mind, and we're like, okay, the next step might be different. We're not ready for it. How has your past affected your future now? Because I think if I relate to myself, there have been many reforms that I made. I tried to change myself. Some things didn't work out. Some things did. And I think I lost some of my self-confidence in between. Do you think, does that affect you too?
I think that's a journey that everyone goes through. It's a journey of learning, of self-discovery, of finding out what your passions are, hits and misses in life, and ultimately trying to reach to a point where you're happy with what you're doing. You love your existence.
Yeah.
You want to wake up and go to work every day full of enthusiasm and wanting to make a difference. And that is, I think, a natural progression in every human being's life. Those who are lucky land up at places where we want to be, while several others struggle all through their lives to actually be in professions or environments that excite them, that makes them want to go to work every day, that really makes them feel enthused and happy about life.
So what makes you get up in the morning? That one kick, that motivation that comes up to you like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And that's how the journey is going to be.
I think the fact that I am in a profession where I can make a difference to so many young lives and minds, and that is the purpose that I have made for myself in my life. And that has driven me for the last 2 decades that I've been involved in this profession, and continues to make me give my very best day after day, turn up at work at my 100%, and give whatever I can and in whatever capacity I can to these wonderful young boys and girls who I have the privilege of being around, so that I can make a small bit of difference in their lives. And I think that is the purpose that I live my life for.
That's so good to hear, sir. So you have established such a great campus in Dehradun, Doon International Riverside Campus, and I think it is one of the best schools in Dehradun. Dehradun is called the school capital of India. There are many universities, schools which have left the mark, and everybody from entire country, or I say different countries, are trying to come to India, and mostly Dehradun is the place where you can find best education. But sir, the literacy rate in Dehradun is 73%. And if I might say for Kerala, it is 93%. Why do you think there's such a big gap, even though the education system here is said to be the best?
Well, I think the fact that our education or literacy percentage lags behind Kerala is probably due to the geographic location of Uttarakhand. A large part of our state is of mountainous area,
Mm,
and a number of residents live in remote parts of the hills,
right.
which are difficult to access. And obviously, it's a challenge for the government to create sufficient schools and colleges in those locations. And hence, I think that is probably one of the main reasons why we lag behind a state like Kerala, which is almost at 100% literacy.
Yeah.
Having said that, I do believe that the government has been making sustained efforts over the last few years to reach out to as many people as they can to encourage even the economically not so privileged to enroll their children. And I think over time these things are going to get better. Um, Remote learning
Right.
and distance education, the use of technology tools, I
Mm,
think are going to aid us in the process of reaching out to people and populations which are not say easily accessible by road or transport. And I
yeah.
think going forward, this is what governments need to look at as to the challenge of geographical inaccessibility. If technology can be used effectively to reach
Right.
areas where they have not yet been, and spread education as much as possible, because I believe that there is nothing more important than education in a child's life.
That's very rightly said, sir. So, coming to your point of technology, do you think right now is India is lacking on technology? Because if you see US, Australia, they are living in a very practical world, and their studies are mostly very theory based, and which might involve researches. They perform experiments, assignments, and they're very different from how India works. How do you think our government is planning to make reforms on that? And in what span of time do you think we can reach that level?
I think there's been significant amount of work being done at the government level to make sure that our learning systems are in tune with what is going on in the countries that are most advanced in terms of education, some of which you mentioned. I
Right.
think over the last decade or so, our central bodies like the Central Board of Secondary Education, to which our schools are affiliated, NCRT, the AICTE, the different universities, they've all been upgrading their curriculum. I think
Yeah.
the teaching methodologies already have seen a significant change in the last couple of decades, as
Right.
also the evaluation system. If you look at how we were evaluated even up until 10 years back,
Yeah.
today, with the new education policy in place, I think there is a lot of emphasis on practical learning, on questions that question not only the theoretical learning of the child, but also the practical understanding. So rote-based learning is slowly being pushed to the background, and I believe that we are making great strides in terms of modernizing our education system. And I think over the next few years, you will find that we are catching up with the West.
So, how do you think that is happening? Because if you see the percentage right now, children are trying to shift their board from CBSE, ICSE to IGCSE or IB board. They're adopting to the foreign board because most of them think after 12th we can go study abroad. And I think that is a big brain drainage for our economy right now. How do you think that is going to affect our school system and our policies? Because I'm sure government is trying to make big reforms, but still, children are making a shift in their education, thinking, no, we are not able to adapt to it, or that is not something we want. Why do you think that is happening?
Um, I think a lot of shift that is happening towards the international boards, the IGCSE and IB that you mentioned, is primarily restricted to either the metropolitan cities or to the upper strata of Indian society. I think the large part of the Indian student community is still enrolled in the Indian boards, whether it is the CBSE, the ICSE, or the state boards.
Right.
And I think the gravitation towards the international boards is primarily for students who are looking to move overseas for their education, for their higher
So
education.
sorry to interrupt you, but why do you think they want to study abroad after 12?
I think higher education certainly is an area that our country needs to catch up with some of the developed countries of the world. Very recently, the list of the top 100 and institutions, higher institutions of learning has come, and unfortunately, our Indian education institutions of higher learning do not find a place even in the top
Yes.
100.
Right.
So, if you look at that list, you will find that most of the colleges and universities are either from the United States of America, the United Kingdom, Europe, Australia,
Right.
or several such developed countries of the world. So certainly we have some catching up to do as far as our higher education institutions are concerned.
That's right.
And that is something that edupreneurs who are invested in education, the government of India, and anybody who has a stake in the higher education of our country needs to seriously look at as to why, while our schools are competitive with the best around the
Yeah,
world,
that's true.
but the same cannot be said for our colleges and
Universities.
universities, unfortunately.
Yes, sir. So, on your point of view, how do you think we can make changes? Because I'd say parents, teachers, and mostly the generation before us, they've been focused on studies. Co-curriculars is a part which has not been the pivotal point of their mindset or something they can focus on. Do you think things are changing and there have been different curriculums which have started to implement co-curriculars like MUNs, debates, or coding? Do you think that has been changing, or and there have been uh, influences from overseas?
No, I think there is a greater understanding in both schools and the parental community that academics alone is not going to is going to take the child very far. I think today the skill set that is required by any child to succeed in life goes far beyond the classrooms.
Very true.
And I
Yeah.
think a lot of schools, including ours, have taken many initiatives to ensure that learning moves not just in from the four walls of classroom to the play field, for example, but also the performing stage. So activities like music, dance, drama, dramatics, MUNs, as you mentioned.
Yes.
A lot of activities that require leadership skills, they require collaboration, require teamwork, they require innovation. I think
Yeah.
we need to, as schools, ensure that children are given access to as many co-curricular and extracurricular activities as is possible, so that beyond the textbooks,
Right.
they have learning for life, and I think they develop their EQ along with their IQ. And I think
That's true.
schools that succeed in doing that are going to certainly move far ahead of schools that restrict the children to the four walls of the classroom.
That's very true, sir. I think we should have that mentality to just not be into textbooks, but think about that skill set, which might be our talent or something we can look forward to. Sir, our system, it has been very rank based. Oh, you're first in class, you're second in class, you have good peer circle,
Mhm.
you have good friend circle.
Mhm.
That is something we've had a great, that is something that has had a great impact on our lives also. You go home, you tell your parents, I've come second in class. Then you get that sense of love, that warmth. Oh my God, that's
Mhm.
really great. But imagine you coming last. Then your value is nothing. It has been a big legacy which has been forwarding on to children, children by children, generation to generation. Uh, there's one thing that is said, that
Mhm.
a single piece of paper cannot decide your future, and I think every student can relate to this. Telling most of us, debating on it, and going home and saying, listen, this is just a report card. In the next few years, you won't even remember it. So how do you think that is impacting the children? Because their morale, their
Right.
self-confidence, it's going back in and lacking.
I think I'm so glad you brought this up. And, yeah, there is sufficient research to suggest that the most successful people in life are not top rankers. If you look at the top CEOs around the world,
Right.
the top achievers, what we call, are people who normally have not been at top of their class either in school or college, but
Yeah.
they've had the skills that are required to succeed in life. And to those parents who believe that only marks are going to decide the future of their child, I think are completely mistaken. I think children who spend time honing skills outside the classroom, skills like communication skills,
That's true.
skills like performing on a stage, skills like having confidence to
Yeah.
go out and face the world, and
Reality hits you at that
absolutely,
point.
and have that never say die attitude, who are resilient, who are confident, and who do not let failures affect their psyche, who
Right.
have the ability to stand up and rise after disappointments and defeats, and those who believe in the power of their dreams, and do not rely purely on grades to make their way through life, are most likely to succeed. And
That's
this
true.
I speak from personal experience. And as I said, there is sufficient research that suggests that you need skills way beyond the marks on a mark sheet to succeed in life.
That's true. So, sir, we're already on this topic of not being so much indulgent in grades. So, I'll take some bigger aspect of it, that there are some students who also want to drop out. They're like, okay, I have seen big entities, successful people like Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs. They have dropped out. They've left their college and university. But one thing I think they forget is that they had a plan. They had a goal to achieve. But our generation right now is getting influenced, saying they did it, we can do it. But during this process, they come to the end. They're like, what do I do now? Because they left school, they left the university thinking they made it, I can make it. How how do you think this has affected their psyche, and why is this changing everyone's mentality now for education?
Right. I think the names that you have mentioned have been exceptional people,
Yeah,
and I don't believe that everyone is exceptional, but
that's
I
true.
do believe that everyone needs to get an education, and they need to get basic education. They need to ensure that they have higher education, and if they have dreams, their whole life lies ahead of them. You do not need to drop out of school and give up on your dreams to chase a mirage. As I said, that the people that you have mentioned have been truly exceptional.
Yeah.
Either you're that skillful or talented or blessed,
Hmm.
but I don't think that 99.9% of people are in that category. I think normally what I would suggest to every young boy or girl is to complete their education and
Right.
then move towards the direction of their careers and whatever dreams they have. There is sufficient time left, and there is no reason to drop out of school to pursue whatever dreams that they have.
And sir, if they're not sure about their career, if they have that confusion, what to do next?
Uh, there are plenty of people who are confused about their careers, and in fact even join careers that they do not enjoy, are not passionate about, or do not even
Hmm.
want to pursue in the future. You'd be surprised that on an average, uh, somebody who is say 50 years old has been between 3 to 5 different careers through their life. I mean, they have changed
Oh my
career
God.
paths, they have explored, and finally they have landed up in something completely different from where they had started. So, please do not be afraid to experiment. It's not.
Hmm.
It's certainly not. Certain where you will land up 15, 20 years from now on. I think we all need to go through that grind of life up
Try
until
things.
try things, experiment,
Yeah.
and try whatever we want to, and ultimately find what is our actual calling. So do not be scared to experiment. Do not be scared to try different things.
Right.
Do not be scared of failure. If you're a failure in one field, it's not necessary you'll be a failure in the other field. There's a
That's
great
true.
chance that you may succeed in something else, even if you have failed in one particular line or career. So I think that process of experimenting, that process of finding yourself, and that process of knowing that this is what I want to do. I
Yeah.
think that's a journey of learning, of discovery, and we must not be scared of that journey, because ultimately that will lead to a destination that we want to be at.
That's true, sir. So you said something about understanding ourselves and understanding what we want to achieve. Do you think we are getting very influenced by others and making their goals ours? You go home, or you see a podcast, I'd say, or you see a TED talk, and there's some motivational speaker telling you, okay, I did this through this, and it is a very high post. It has a big value. So, do you think we make other people's dream our dream?
I think especially with the social media influence that is so omnipresent in your generation.
Right.
These reels and these posts about very successful people talking about their journeys, and so this certainly has an influence on the young minds. But
Okay.
please understand that everybody's journey has to be different. It has to be your own journey. You cannot copy somebody else's experiences. What they have progressed through life, or what they have learned. Your journey will be your own.
Right.
And while it's great to have heroes and
Yeah.
people who we want to emulate and be like, but
Right.
please understand that they've had a lot of hard work, effort. Their journey to where they are today has been long. It has been arduous. It has
Right.
involved a lot of hard work. It has involved a lot of failures. Involved a lot of hits and misses, and
Hmm.
and and you will have yours.
Your
Uh,
trial and errors.
Absolutely, you will have your trials and errors, and you will progress through your life on your own particular journey. So while it's great, as I said, to have heroes and idols, but
Yeah.
but please understand that their journey is theirs, and yours will ultimately be yours.
That's true, sir. So, I think let's get on. How did you go through your journey? How did you understand? Okay, this is something that I want to do. Because I think in our college times, we like, okay, we have that mindset of starting something new. Okay, let's do this venture. Let's invest in that. Let's start our own little business. Did you get that click?
I think I think I'm the perfect example of somebody who's been through life and
Okay.
ultimately landed up in something that they had never imagined.
Oh,
I left school and I joined Delhi University. I pursued English literature at
right.
Hindu College, and um, post that I joined the Taj Group of Hotels
Okay.
as a management trainee, which had nothing to do with my previous education. Um,
Yeah.
my my ambition was to get into the corporate sector,
Right.
and I wanted to do my MBA. So after a few years of having gathered work experience, I
Hmm.
moved to Australia at
That's
the
great.
University of Queensland. I did my MBA, and I thought that I would make my career in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I that was the time that my parents had just founded the Doon International School, and I
Okay.
decided to join them. I left my corporate dreams far behind. I had thought
Mm.
that I would ultimately be residing in Australia. I left
Oh,
I left Australia to come back to India, join my parents, whilst the school was at its infancy, which
okay.
was founded in 1993, and I joined them in 1998.
That's great.
Yes, and it's now been more than 30 years since the school has been founded, and have thoroughly enjoyed doing what I'm doing now, which is being involved with the young children,
Mm.
being involved in the administration of my education institutions, and as I said, trying to make a difference in the lives of young boys and girls, trying to make them achieve their best, trying to move them in the direction of their dreams, and trying
Yeah.
to provide an ecosystem at our schools which helps them excel at whatever they want to do. So whether it
Right.
is academics, whether it is sports, whether it is co-curricular or extracurricular activities. It is our effort to give them a platform to succeed and to pursue what they want to do.
Yes.
And I think that opportunity that children have of pursuing various interests in the school helps them ultimately move in the direction of what they really want to do in their careers. And if you were to restrict children only to the classroom, believe me, that would never happen.
I don't think
Yeah.
that can. Speaking from my
Yes,
experience,
absolutely.
I don't
I
think we
think
can sit for
yes,
whole 7 period class and thinking, okay, we're just going to listen to the teacher.
absolutely. And I think that's unfortunate. If you are going to restrict this very fertile imagination of a child,
Right.
where he has so many interests, passions, skills. I think as schools we should, I think we have the responsibility of ensuring that children get that opportunity to explore whatever they want, whether
Yeah.
it is in the classroom, whether it is on the playground, whether it is in the library or on the stage, or at any other platform that they wish
Mm,
to excel at.
right. So you said that you shifted from Australia to India, right? You did your MBA from Australia. What difference do you see in the Australian education and our Indian education?
Um, it's been a while now, but what I did notice in the Australian education system was that that a lot of the focus of the learning is on the learner. Very often, what we tend to do is that we put the focus of learning in India on the teacher, wherein a
Yeah.
teacher becomes responsible for the results of the students. And
Right.
and what I noticed in Australia was that the teacher was not bothered if you turned up to class or not, because they felt that it was your responsibility to attend your classes, to make sure
Okay.
that you had a certain attainment level, that you achieved certain grades, and that you
Right.
passed out with certain merits and achievements that would help you achieve what you want to in life.
They make you independent of your own
Absolutely,
actions.
absolutely. You are accountable
Okay.
for your own actions. So what they believed was that you have paid a certain amount of money to get into the university of your choice.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the university will provide you an ecosystem, they will provide you an environment, they will provide you with great teachers and great infrastructure and facilities. But
Right.
how you make use of that is going to be entirely dependent on you.
Mm.
There is no forced attendance. A lot of the learning is voluntary. You have to do a lot of research in your free time. Assignments are not just written assignments. There is teamwork involved. You do a lot of team activities. You do a lot of project submissions.
Hard work.
A lot of hard work, which actually is a wonderful experience, because you learn how to be independent, how to be accountable for your actions, not be reliant on somebody else to constantly be tugging at you
Ah.
and showing you the way, and knowing that if you are not going to do what is expected out of you, the consequences are yours. And that is what happened. I did not do very well at my first semester because I got
Yeah.
carried away with the independence
Oh, the
the
freedom that
yes, the
you get,
freedom.
you go
And
abroad.
yes, absolutely. And by the end of the first term, I realized that I needed to pull my socks up and make
Get to work.
and get to work, because I was there for a purpose. My parents were supporting me economically, and I needed to make sure that the money that they were paying was going to be worth it. And that opportunity that university gave to me, that I made the best use of. So as I said, that encourages independent thinking. It is something that moves the focus of learning entirely onto the learner. And I think in India we do a lot of you know a lot of shifting of the focus onto the teachers rather than the students, and I
Students.
think that needs to change.
So very rightly said, because I think students really need to understand that it's entirely their duty also, that they have to succeed. It's not their parents or their teachers cribbing on them. Oh, you got homework to do. You got your boards. You got your vivas. They have to get their own sense of fulfillment or security. Ki, this is something that is left. This is something that I have to achieve. So as you said that your parents founded Doon International School, you continue their legacy and put in your hard work by also founding the uh, Doon International Riverside Campus, world class school, what drove you to get to this new venture? And do you think your dreams are fulfilled by living with this new young generation and the creative mind?
I think I was extremely passionate about setting up a school that focuses on learning beyond the classrooms. I think we've discussed this in great detail
Yes.
over this talk of ours, and I wanted that the school campus that we that we found, the institution that we found, is based on the values of the holistic education that everybody keeps talking about, which means that equal emphasis on learning outside the classroom
Right.
as well as inside the classroom. And when we founded the Doon International School Riverside Campus, my aspiration was to have a school which did not feel like a school. I mean, the dull, drab image of an institution that very often students
Right.
identify schools with. I wanted children who come to study here to think of it entirely differently. So
Wake up
from
in the morning,
yes,
happy, going to
and be
school.
delighted to enter their
Yeah.
school. So if you visited the school, you will notice that even as you enter the gate of
Right.
the institution and make your way towards the academic block, it is designed more like a resort
Oh.
than a school, for the reason that when a child enters, he should have happy vibes entering his mind and body, and he should be excited that he's entering a place where he's going to enjoy, he's
Yeah.
going to
Have
thrive,
fun.
he's going to have fun, he's going to be in the outdoors, he's going to enjoy nature, he's going to have great fun while he's at school and while he learns. So the facility planning process, the design of the campus, the layout,
Yeah.
sporting facilities, the learning environment at the whole school has been set up in a way that it causes the least amount of stress to the children. It
Mm.
makes them happy to come to school, and a lot of the learning takes place outside the classroom, very close to nature. So
Okay.
this school is on the edge of a riverbed, and there is a
Mm.
forest at the back. So
Yeah.
there is nature all around. We the if you are silent, you only hear the birds and the
Mm.
bees.
That's a very
And
serene
yes,
environment. Yeah.
absolutely, it's away from the humdrum of the world, and
Yeah.
it's very much like the old age gurukul, where children can learn in a peaceful,
Yeah. A very meditative
rewarding, and a
environment.
meditative environment, and
Yeah.
yet have access to world class facilities.
That's
So
great.
when we involved the architectural team in the planning of that school, I had a very clear cut vision of what I wanted. So whether it was the design of the classrooms, which do not even require artificial electricity, because there's so much of natural light in the classroom,
Okay.
the landscaping, the sporting facilities. We have the largest auditorium for any school in the country
Oh.
at the Riverside campus, and that was essentially to give children who are interested in the performing arts, who are interested in dramatics, who are interested in theater,
Showcasing their
to
talent.
showcase their talents, dance, music, and children make great use of that venue. We host several, inter-school and cross-cultural events there, uh,
Right.
which students learn immensely from. So, I mean, for a child who is looking to study in an institution that 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 they're happy to be in, I think what we have tried to create at Riverside is a happy school, is a school that as I've said several times over, make a child want to come to school. And I
That's very
personally like
rightly
to,
said.
and I love to invite you to come visit
For
us
sure,
and
sir. I will surely do.
experience the Riverside campus.
It's so great to hear that you've put so much insight into actually understanding a child's mindset and seeing how comfortable they are to a very serene and meditative environment, as you rightly said. It is very important for the child to be very comfortable with the teachers,
Mhm.
with the place they're in, and to have that sense of fulfillment that, okay, I'm coming to school not just to study,
Mhm.
but to have that time with my friends, to get a new skill set, which is very important in this practical based life, because after school is over, you get that reality check. You're like, what am I supposed to do now? This is very new to me. This is a
Yes.
very different environment.
Yes. So for example, we have our own herbal garden there. We grow a lot of our own vegetables. Yes. And we have cows and buffaloes there. So, we have tried to take children back to nature, back to the basics.
That's a very
And
different exposure to get.
yes, absolutely. So, a lot of the science lessons, for example, are outdoors, where
Okay.
children are studying about, for example, when they're studying about plants, they're
Right.
actually doing it in the greenhouse where plants are growing right in front of them. So when they're studying the stem, the root, they're not looking at a screen or a blackboard. They're actually seeing everything as is meant to be out there on the ground and learning it practically the way they should be.
I think that gives a very better comprehensive
Absolutely. And
to just see on the blackboard
ab-
and mug up the formulas
absolutely,
or everything.
absolutely. I think it's so important that children touch and feel, as they learn and see and absorb and hear. I think these are all, once we involve all the senses of our human mind, I
Right.
think learning takes place at a much faster rate.
That's very true, sir. So, any incident that you would like to share that you might have seen in your school, or any youngsters you might have noticed that might uh, give you a better understanding about the changes from your generation to our generation, or it might have shocked you at some point. Oh my God, there's a very vast difference,
Mhm.
and children have gone to different extents in life.
I think uh, I think the biggest change obviously has been the advent of technology. I think children today are extremely smart as far as tech tools are concerned. The use of technology in the classrooms,
Right.
and the fact that they can do some most incredible things, on the computers, on their handheld devices,
Yeah.
and that is something that is completely eye opening for somebody like us, who learnt on the traditional chalk and talk method,
Glued to it 24/7.
absolutely. And I think the children are very innovative. They think out of the box, and
Yeah.
whenever we have these different competitions related to entrepreneurship or anything to do with the use of information technology tools, I think children today are way ahead of what our generation was.
I think so. I can relate to it.
Yes, absolutely. I think yes, I think we were tech illiterate in our generation, and we are so surprised and pleasantly surprised at
Yeah.
how artificial intelligence, for one,
Yeah, because I,
is.
I I might be sitting with my family. My dad is there, mom is there. I'm like, listen, this new thing is coming. He's like, what is that? Is that even a thing? I'm like, no, no,
Absolutely.
it is there. You guys need to come back into the game now.
Yes, I think and it's fantastic, and I think artificial intelligence is going to be a huge challenge. The adaptability to artificial challenge, we cannot artificial intelligence. Um, we can just cut that bit. I think artificial intelligence is going to be a great challenge for educators and learners alike.
Right.
We cannot wish it away. It's going to be here and
A
um,
great impact on
have a
us.
great impact, not just in schools but on life.
Yeah.
And I think rather than resist the use and advent of artificial intelligence, I think we will have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
true.
what schools need to do is to ensure that children are provided enough inputs, are provided enough learning in the use of artificial intelligence tools
Right.
while they're at use, so they can use them effectively.
Hmm.
I think we're all aware the challenge that ChatGPT is posing in terms of
Yeah. I think
in
teachers have to keep a check, download
absolutely
those
in terms
apps.
of using unfair means or cheating on assignments. But I think this is just something that over time students and teachers will have to learn to use effectively, because there is no way around it.
Yeah, because
And
I think the economy is taking a very big upward trajectory for augmented realities, Internet of Things, and for schools to actually adapt to it and make us learn at the base level. This is what you're going up for. This is the future, and you need to understand it. This is the base level. It's very important for us.
absolutely, I think schools have the challenge of, first of all, skilling their own teachers, because These are again teachers who are of a particular age. They do not belong to the generation of learners.
Yeah,
I think a great challenge for schools is to actually equip their teachers to understand what AI is. We've started, in classes 9 and 10, we've started artificial intelligence as a subject to try to
Right.
take small steps in that direction.
Yeah.
But that is something that schools will have to be very, very proactive about, to adapt to the challenges of technology and how they can best equip the students to be comfortable with it and to use it effectively.
Yeah.
So we will have to be very receptive to adapting technology in our learning and teaching process, as also equipping our children with the right skill set to use these artificial intelligence, softwares or apps effectively for themselves.
Yeah, nowadays you see little kids coding, making apps,
Yes.
and making robots. So it's a very different environment now, and I think for us also to see our little siblings doing all of that is very game changing.
Yes.
So
And I think between you and your sister, you would have already realized that there is already a gap as to where you were at her age and where she is. I think she'll be much more comfortable.
yeah, I think what I'm doing now, she'll be better at it.
Absolutely. So this is exactly what I think. I think every 5 years, as far as technology is concerned, there's going to be a generation change.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's gonna be a pro.
Yes, absolutely.
So it was a great conversation. A last question, sir. Any advice or any knowledge that you would like to give to the younger generation for them to adapt to this environment better?
Okay. Whenever I get the opportunity to talk to my children, I always tell them that give nothing but your very best. I think all of us are born with certain skills, certain abilities, certain talents, and we are lucky to be in environments where we have the opportunity to explore those talents and skills and develop them further to a point where we can make a living out of them. But what I believe is that every child, when they go to school, they must have it in their minds that they will do nothing and give nothing but their very best uh, every single day. And I think that effort, that grit, that determination, that dedication to whatever they're doing is what is going to make a difference in their lives. It's going to make them achieve their dreams. It's going to give them the confidence and the ability to go out, face the world, and make a mark for themselves. So, my piece of advice is that whenever you turn up, give nothing but your very best, and your life will be successful.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a very, very insightful conversation, and I'm sure kids like me, youngsters, can learn a lot from it, from your experience, and from your journey, your skill sets, your reforms in life. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you, Ananya. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And at such a young age, you've taken this wonderful initiative of the podcast. I wish you
Thank
the
you so
very
much,
best
sir.
of luck, and I'm sure that you will achieve great things in life.
Thank
So, all
you
the
so
very
much,
best.
sir. Good that your blessings are with me.
God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.